need it. Now bring it like you need it. Just like you need it.
Yes, my name is Julian Ajunwa, your host on the show today, and it's all about the FIFA World Cup. Reactions continue to trail England's 2-1 defeat at the hands of the defending champions, the Albiceleste of Argentina, a game where England had it at the palm of their hands, and they had it very, very close to winning that game and eventually playing in Sunday's final. They had that game all wrapped up. They had that game all figured out before Lionel Messi worked his magic at 39, created 2 assists for Argentina to eventually turn the 1-goal deficit to a 2-1 victory. So the Argentina national side are going to play in Sunday's final against a Spain side. So it's going to be Lionel Messi on one side against Lamine Yamal for Spain on the other side. All right, let's start the show from the other sports. Some stories on other sports in Formula 1. Lando Norris will take a time-place grid penalty in Sunday's Belgian Grand Prix. McLaren confirmed earlier today that Norris's MCL40 will be fitted with a new power electronics unit at Spa Francorchamps, which will be the 4th such element the car has used this season, one more than is permitted without penalty under F1 regulations. A 4th unit automatically triggers a 10-place grid drop for the reigning world champion from wherever he qualifies for Sunday's race. Norris will therefore start no higher than 11th position. McLaren said they are fitting the fresh unit to take advantage of battery reliability improvements from engine suppliers Mercedes after failures with initial units earlier in the season, with Spa Francorchamps chosen as a circuit to take the penalty due to its relatively overtaking friendly nature. Norris, who counts Spa as a second home race as his mother is Belgian, has endured a challenging world title defense so far in 2026, with McLaren unable to match frontrunners Mercedes and Ferrari on a consistent basis. He is currently 5th in the Drivers' Championship after 9 rounds at 82 points behind leader Kimi Antonelli, while his average qualifying result is 5th place. I don't think that Lando Norris would have a successful defense of his title. He has been very, very poor alongside, McLaren, who haven't really helped matters. They've handed the initiative to Mercedes and Ferrari, and they're the ones who are dominating, especially with Kimi Antonelli, Charles Leclerc. You've got Lewis Hamilton as well. So it's everything to play for, but 82 points is a whole lot. But if you can win like 2-3 races on the Spain, that would help to close the gap. If not, usurp Kimi Antonelli on top of the drivers' standings, and also help McLaren close the gap on the constructors' title as well. Let's move on quickly to the FIFA World Cup and let you know that England captain Harry Kane admitted trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead backfired as their World Cup hopes were ended by Argentina's late show in a 2-1 semi-final defeat. Anthony Gordon fired England into a 55th minute lead, but Argentina wrestled the momentum in the game, and this time Thomas Tuchel's substitution did not work as Lionel Messi laid on late goals for Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez to turn the game around. Kane claimed the message from Tuchel and his staff was to keep pushing after Gordon's goal, but he felt as though England increasingly retreated, inviting the pressure which Argentina turned to their advantage. So Harry Kane, I understand you're trying to defend your manager, no doubt about that. You don't want to throw your manager under the bus, but you should not also forget that this man threw you guys under the bus. This guy made life very, very difficult for your team. That's the truth of the matter. Because if he gave the right information, so you're trying to defend him and say he said you guys should play on the front foot. So if that is the case, why was he bringing in defenders instead of attackers? Why was he doing that? Because it looks like you're saying one thing and then, the manager did another thing. Okay, so, this is something that it was everywhere. Everybody saw the game. Those people that watched the game actually saw what the manager did in terms of his substitution. How can you take out an Anthony Gordon? Yes, I understand he could be tired, conditions not really smooth and all of that. But why do you take out an Anthony Gordon and bring on an Ezri Konsa? How do you take out a forward for a defender? What does that tell you? It simply tells me that the manager wanted to preserve the 1-goal lead. Now, I'm just questioning all his substitutions. So this is the 5 substitutions the manager made. He took out Gordon and brought in Konsa. He took out Reece James and brought in Dan Burn. I can understand that. Defender for a defender. He took out Declan Rice and brought in Nico O'Reilly, a defender for a midfielder. And then, after Argentina had scored those 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes from Fernandez and Martinez, in the 6 minutes of added time, because 9 minutes were added even though we played up until the 12th minute, you brought in Ivan Toney for John Stones and you brought in Marcus Rashford for Jed Spence. Thomas Tuchel, if you're listening to me right now, you have eventually, thrown away and blow away a very good opportunity for you to write a history for yourself as a foreign manager to help England get to the finals for the first time in 1966. And I see no reason why, if England had qualified for that finals, they would not have fancied their chances against Spain. I know that in 2024, they lost the Euros finals to Spain. All right, they lost that game by 2-1. But that was under Gareth Southgate. This is under your watch. If England had played in the final, they would have had, let's say, a 40% chance of winning the competition at the end of the day. But your substitutions were not it. Saka was on the bench. Madueke was on the bench. First of all, I even faulted the decision to start Morgan Rogers on the right-hand side of the attack. Rogers is a midfielder. Rogers is a number 10. Unfortunately, because of the form of Jude Bellingham, it would have been difficult to put Bellingham on the bench in place of a Morgan Rogers, because the more you have Bellingham on the pitch, the better your chances of winning. And the guy has shown workings. The guy has shown that he's a quality player. The guy has shown that you can hang your hat on him, Jude Bellingham. So I understand leaving him on the pitch. Take out Morgan Rogers, bring in a Saka or a Noni Madueke to shore up that right-sided position. And then when you took out Gordon as early as the 72nd minute, because England were still leading by a goal to 0, instead of Konsa, bring in a Rashford. Because for me, if I was the coach of England, after scoring that first goal in the 55th minute, the target is go out there and try to get the second goal. That's what Egypt did. If you fast forward back to the game between Egypt and Argentina, you understand the point I'm making. So in the first half, Egypt scored a goal. In the second half, they scored another goal. The goal was ruled out by the video assistant referee for a foul in the build-up to the goal. And then a few minutes later, the same player who scored that goal, Zico, scored another goal. This time around, the goal counted. And Egypt were leading 2-0. Yes, they eventually blew up the lead and lost 3-2, considering 3 goals in like 12 minutes or thereabout. You can forgive Egypt. How many times have they qualified for the World Cup? They're very inexperienced at this stage. But you could see the efforts Egypt put in. They were not defending with a low block. The manager was not bringing in defenders upon defenders when he had attackers on the bench. So that's what we are talking about. The reason why everybody is blaming the England manager is because he wasn't able to maximize the players he had on the bench. If he brought in Saka, if he brought in Rashford, and he lost the game, nobody will mention him. That's the truth about it. Because it will be seen that he made attacking substitutions to score that second goal. Because you cannot defend a 1-goal lead against Argentina. It doesn't work. And it shows that the manager did not do his homework. If the manager had done his homework, he would have known that out of the last 12 goals Argentina have scored, 10 has come from the 79th minute and after. So that tells you that this is a side that doesn't give up. This is a side that still believes they're still firmly in the contest so long as the referee hasn't blown the final whistle. It's very obvious that the manager did not do his homework. Because if he did, he would have known this. Before you start bringing in those defenders, at least 80-something minutes. At that time, Argentina will be tired out because they were just bossing the game, holding possession. And the way he just surrendered possession to Argentina was unimaginable. I don't understand why. The game against Mexico dominated the game. I understood that part because Kwanzaa had a very unnecessary red card. So under such high altitude, playing at the Azteca Stadium, a place Mexico had lost just 2 games in over 80-something competitive fixtures. The odds were not in their favor. Very harsh weather conditions. The fans also were all about supporting Mexico. So that was a tough game. You now had a man sent off. I understand you defending. But why do you do that against Argentina when you have 11 players on the pitch? And you also have some quality on the bench. So that's why there's nobody that has leapt to the defense of Thomas Tuchel. There is no single person that I believe, deep down inside the heart of Harry Kane, deep down inside the heart of Jude Bellingham, deep down inside the hearts of or the minds of some of those players in England, if they are very sincere, they will tell you that the manager didn't give them the right information. He did not. He did not. And at the end of the day, you brought in the defenders and you still lost the game. So why not bring in attackers? If you brought in attackers and you lost the game, fair and square. We'll say, yes, Argentina were the better side. But you brought in defenders with a back five. As at the time this guy scored the goal, Martinez scored the goal, McGay was on the pitch, Stones was on the pitch, Dan Bond was on the pitch, Jet Spence was on the pitch. You played with a back five, and yet one of the smallest players on the pitch rose above John Stones and headed the ball into the back of the net. So it's crazy. If not for the saves that Jordan Pickford made, that game would have been 3-1, it could have been 4-1, it could have been 5-1, because Alexis McAllister struck the bar 2 times. So that's what we are talking about. So, it's not a good thing that England have crashed out of the World Cup, because for the first time, their fans were believing that this was going to be their time. But again, like I said in the morning, and let me just reiterate my point, because some persons will say, oh, Julian, you are too harsh on the manager. I'm just trying to analyze it the way it is, because I saw the game from start to finish. I was just saying to myself, why are England defending? What are you defending? You are defending a 1-goal lead in a World Cup semi-final against the defending champion, against the team that has won the last 3 international competitions they've played in, 2 Copa America, in between 1 World Cup, and you are defending against them. Why? England are in the top 4 in the FIFA rankings, so they're also a top team. So why are you defending? What are you defending? And I cast my mind back to when Thomas Tuchel was coach of Bayern Munich. And let me just tell you this, because some of you are just saying, oh, you are criticizing the manager, you are too harsh on him, just spare him some thought. Let me just tell you why I said I don't really believe. Yes, he's a good coach, no doubt about that. Won the Champions League with Chelsea. But again, somebody started that journey. And the person that started that journey was Frank Lampard. If he did not qualify them for the knockout stages, there would have been no Thomas Tuchel winning the Champions League that year. His last job at Bayern before he took over the England job. So he took charge 24th March 2023 and he left 18th May 2024. He took charge of 61 games, won 37, drew 8, lost 16. Now before then, Bayern Munich were dominated. Everybody knew how dominant Bayern were in the Champions League. They know how dominant they were, especially on the domestic front. Julian Nagelsmann, for one reason or the other, left the job. And then he left them in a good place. They were in a very healthy lead in the Bundesliga that year. In fact, Nagelsmann had won 8 successive games in the Champions League in the old format. They won 6 consecutive games in the league, in the group stage rather, and then they beat Paris Saint-Germain home and away in the round of 16. So 8 consecutive wins. And then Nagelsmann left. They brought in Thomas Tuchel. They lost to Manchester City in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. They were embarrassed by a small club in the DFB Pokal. And then they won the league on the final day of the season on goals difference. This is a league that Bayern had won for like 9 or 10 straight years before Bayer Leverkusen won under Xabi Alonso. And then Nagelsmann left them in a very good place. They were not struggling when he left. And then they brought in Thomas Tuchel and he almost destroyed everything that Nagelsmann had built. And he left. One of the reasons why England brought him was to win the World Cup. They gave him an 18-month contract when he joined. He joined England on the 1st of January last year. They gave him an 18-month contract which covers the qualifiers for the World Cup and indeed the World Cup. And fair play to him, he qualified the team for the World Cup. They had a very, very easy group and they won all their games. I don't think they even conceded. I can't remember them conceding any goal throughout the qualifiers. And they qualified for the World Cup with, I think, 1 or 2 games to spare. In February of this year, the English FA extended his contract by 2 years because they felt, okay, he had done enough. There was confidence within the English FA that this guy can help England win the World Cup for the first time since 1966. But what happened? From his team selection before the start of the World Cup, I knew that something wasn't just right. Something was not just right with this England team. Fair play to them. They got to the semi-finals because the last edition, France knocked them out in the quarterfinals. But in summary, if this man had made the right calls, if he was brave enough to put in attackers and not put in defenders when he should be putting in attackers, it would have been a different kettle of fish entirely, trust me. It would have been a different ball game entirely. Argentina did not have the kind of options in attack that England had. To be very honest, who were the players they had on the bench? Who were the attacking players? How many attacking players did they have? On the bench, Nico Paz, a very young player from Como. And then you talk about Valentin Bacco, Thiago Almada, Giovanni Lo Celso. These are the few attacking players they had in their team. You cannot compare these guys to Eze. You cannot compare these guys to Madueke, to Saka, to Ivan Toney, to Watkins. Come on. See, look at, these guys are not world-class players, but these guys, they had decent seasons for their respective club. Watkins won the UEFA Europa League with Aston Villa, played a very key role. Eberechi Eze, Saka, and Madueke all play for Arsenal. They had a very strong season at Arsenal. So why do you leave out all those players and you are bringing in Dambon, bringing in Konsa, and all of those guys? So Thomas Tuchel has thrown this team under the bus, and he's the reason why they did not win that game against Argentina. Fair play to Argentina, no doubt about that. I've always said it here that if any team that can stop France, it has to be Argentina. If any team that can win this World Cup, it has to be Argentina. The togetherness in that team has to be studied. I was listening to Giuliano Simeone, the son of the Atletico Madrid manager, Diego Simeone, and he said, listen, we will do everything possible. Whatever it will take me and this team, we'll do it. If it's for us to run from here to USA, okay, they're in USA. For us to run from USA to Spain or to Argentina, run from USA to Argentina and run back. Not with flight, with our legs. Just for Messi to win, we are ready to do it. And that's the hallmark of a team that is united. You watch their dressing room celebration. You see how they're all together. They're all celebrating. They're all working together. The unity is there. The way those guys run themselves to the ground is there. That never say that attitude is there. They believe that with Messi and their efforts, they can go far. And that's what we are seeing. It's not rocket science. They believe that with the quality of Messi, yes, they say Messi, was walking around for 47% of the time. He's not helping to defend. He's not pressing. He's not tracking back. He's not doing anything. Oh, you expect a 39-year-old to be running like a 24-year-old. But he has people who will do the running for him. He has people who will do the running. Now, let me even shock you. He has even scored more goals this year than he scored in 2022. He has had more assists this year than he had in 2022. He has created more chances this year than he had in 2022. So these are the things. So he's strolling on the pitch 47% of the time, but he's having more influence on the game. Why? Because those players believe in him. They know when to pass the ball to him. Look at the second goal with his weaker foot. Pinpoint cross with his right foot over the heads of 5 England defenders. John Stones was the last person. How that cross evaded the heads of 5 defenders and went to the head of Lautaro Martinez. That is team spirit. That's a team that wants to win the World Cup. So it is what it is. England would learn from this experience. But at the end of the day, this was a missed opportunity to win a major trophy for the national team for the first time since 1966. Let's hear from Harry Kane, the captain of the side. Yesterday, he made history as the most capped outfield England player with his 121st cap, overtaking that of Wayne Rooney. Let's hear what he had to say.
Probably 60, 70 minutes, we were really good. High tempo, pressed well. The game was quite even still, but yeah, we got the goal and I think we fully deserved to be ahead. After that, we struggled to get pressure on the ball. We struggled to find solutions with the ball. And then the waves of attacks from them just began and we struggled to get any momentum. Obviously, we changed formation. We tried to get more pressure, but just couldn't find a solution. So disappointing for it to end like that because it was like we went 1-0 up and we just tried to hang on when this, we spoke a lot about that this campaign about doing the opposite, but it's obviously easier said than done. Yeah, I think to try and get the wing back to get more pressure on the crosses, obviously have more men in the middle of the box, but yeah, in the end we just ended up dropping too deep. They was picking up second balls, we couldn't get out, and when you're playing against a team with this quality, in the end the chances they've got, they're going to score, and it's just heartbreaking to go out like that. It's always the hardest one to take, but yeah, we're going to have to assess it and then see where we can improve.
Yes, they just got to assess it and see how they can improve. And he also talked about what this team is missing, because for them to be tagged or dubbed the nearly men, which means something is missing. Something is missing. There's a missing piece in the jigsaw for England. What is that thing that is missing? This is what Harry Kane said.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything. Being able to still keep the ball in those moments, the mentality to do that, the technical ability to do that. Also, when you're tired, when the game's going against you, can you find a way to switch the momentum? Also, without the ball, still getting pressure. I felt like we've been good at this campaign of pressing high and winning balls back higher up the pitch, which then gives you a different type of momentum. But in the end, that last 20 minutes, we couldn't do either. And yeah, you've seen it in recent tournaments as well, where it's hurt us, and it has again today. It's pride for sure. What the boys have given, what the boys have given to the nation, everything, every bit of running distance, blood, sweat, tears, whatever it's taken, the nights we've had, the tough games we've come through as a group. Can only be proud of the boys. Of course, we're all gutted. We all felt like we have enough to get to the final and win, but it's another kick in the teeth. So I spoke before about knocking on the door, where we're doing that. We just need to find that missing piece to get over the line.
Yes, you can keep knocking on the door and the door will not be opened. That is the story of the English national side. They've knocked on the door. They've lost the Euros finals in 2021. On home soil. They also lost the Euros final in 2024 to Spain. The one in 2021 was on penalties to Italy, even when they had their destiny in their hands. Saka, Sancho, Rashi, all of those guys missed their penalties when it was within their grasp to win. Okay, so against Spain dominated them from start to finish, eventually won the game. Even the goal by Watkins could not save them at the end of the day, So let's also hear what Harry Kane had to say, because in the build-up to that fixture, it was all about stopping Messi. It was all about how do we stop this little magician? How do we stop him from dictating the game? We know he doesn't run too much, but how do we avoid him from wreaking havoc on our team when he has the pass, when he has the ball in those half spaces, in those very, very attacking areas of the game? In the final third for England, how do we ensure that he doesn't influence the game? How do we ensure that he doesn't score? How do we ensure he doesn't assist? Because if you cast your mind back, the only team that has stopped Messi from scoring or assisting in a World Cup game is Poland. All right, it is Poland, and England were very close to becoming the second team to stop Messi from either scoring or assisting in a World Cup game. And this is what Harry Kane had to say about the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I felt like for large parts of the game we dealt with him really well. But as always with the most dangerous players in the world, when they have the ball in the final third, they can create something. And he done that again today. He's obviously one of the best players ever for a reason. And like I said, it was disappointing to kind of give up the space that we did. And in those final 20 minutes, it allowed not just him, but the other players, the other ball players to, grow into the game and feel more confident and get balls into dangerous areas, and in the end it was too much for us to stop.
All right, let's also hear from Jude Bellingham. He's had a fantastic competition, no doubt about that. He came to the World Cup with 6 goals for England. He's added another 6. He's been very pivotal to all they have done so far at the World Cup. And he's got to be gutted. He has every reason to be very disappointed. What will you tell the players? What do you won't tell them? It's like a man. You're in a relationship with your girlfriend or your wife, and then you did something wrong. Okay, and your wife caught you red-handed, and you now told her, my wife, my girlfriend, please have mercy, tamper justice with Messi. I will not do it again. She says, okay, no problem. For the sake of love, for the sake of our kids, I will forgive you. And then she forgives you today. And then in the next 2 or 3 days, or maybe the next 1 week, she has caught you in the act, in the same thing again. You beg her again, my wife, my love, please have mercy. I'm sorry. It will never happen again. Last chance. After this chance, if you forgive me this time, I will never do it again. She says, okay, my husband, for the sake of our children, I love you. I will not do it again. If you do it again, wait till you want to tell that your babe or your wife. What do you want to tell her? That's the situation of Jude Bellingham now, because the failure is one time too many. It's happening repeatedly. Waiting they happen. What is the issue? Jude Bellingham is not happy.
I think we can take a lot from the experience, but it is so gutting. I wanted to be a part of an England squad that finally done it, finally got it over the line, and to be here telling the fans, unfortunately, the same things that they've probably heard for years and years. It's really gutting. I wish I could say more. I wish I could give one more win or 2 more wins, but at the moment I'm kind of head's a bit fuzzy with disappointment, so I'm sorry.
All right, Jude Bellingham is sorry again. There's another Euros in 2028. Jude, hope you not tell the fans sorry. They've been hearing you guys. They don't hear now. Sorry. People run out of patience. The fans are not happy. When you keep apologizing and you are doing the same thing, at a point, she will say, please, I'm walking away. I'm not forgiving you. I've forgiven you all this while. Nothing come out. So the England fans are irate. The England fans are not happy. They are distraught, and rightly so. because they felt that for the first time in 60 years that they were going to win the World Cup. In fact, England fans don't already they calculate how they want a revenge on Spain. It's like you guys don't understand. You know why they say they pain England fans? They already anticipating how they want pocket Yamal. Nico O'Reilly, how I want put Yamal for pockets. How I want frustrate Argentina. How I want frustrate Spain. As they frustrate Argentina, I want frustrate Spain. So that's where the pain is coming from the average English fans. For the ones who support Premier League clubs, those of you who support Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, I mean, the joy of having, imagine, a World Cup winner. Imagine if England had gotten to that final and beaten Spain. Jude Bellingham would be bouncing back to Spain with the World Cup trophy in his hand, with his World Cup medal. But now, for Real Madrid fans, I pity you now. Because this Sunday, at the MetLife Stadium, you have two options. You will choose one. At the end of the day, you can't run away from your shadows. Now, you either support Spain. Lamine Yamal, they say, has a loud mouth. Imagine somebody who is still a teenager. He has won the Euros. He has won the World Cup under 2 years. And other Barcelona players still did that Spain side though. The likes of Kubasi, Gavi, Dani Olmo, they're plenty. They reach like 7 or 8. Where did that Spain team? The way they go make noise and insult Madrid fans, So that's on one side. Again, for those who say the greatest of all time is Ronaldo. For those of you who say the greatest of all time is Ronaldo, you have two options. Do you support Spain? And you're also a Real Madrid fan too, because of course Madrid and Ronaldo are like Siamese twins. They are tied together one way or the other. So you can either also support Spain, and then those 8 Barcelona players will come and buga for Real Madrid. That they have when El Clasico comes around, they'll say 8 World Cup winners from our team. And that tag is going to stay there for the next 4 years until another team wins the title if they don't retain their title. And then Messi winning two FIFA World Cup titles. Now, I spoke to some Real Madrid fans and especially Ronaldo fans. You know what they told me? They said, Julian, listen, that if Messi likes, he should win 10 World Cups. That if Messi likes, he should win 10 World Cups. That their greatest of all time remains Ronaldo. I said, you guys should listen. Calm down. If Messi win that World Cup on Sunday, man, let's just leave it at that. But like those guys told me today that if he likes, let him keep winning the World Cup for the next 10 editions. That nothing will change their mind. It is Ronaldo or no GOAT. If Ronaldo cannot be the GOAT, there will be no GOAT. No greatest of all time if it's not Cristiano Ronaldo. Unfortunately, I tried to convince them that won't this argument be overwhelming? If Messi wins the World Cup, I mean, Ronaldo never even win one. Messi don't first and win. Still win another one again if he wins on Sunday. If he wins on Sunday. Which mountain I want to talk now say Ronaldo is the greatest of all time? The only thing you can be like me that say that the greatest of all time is Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. But I will not say outrightly that the greatest of all time is Ronaldo. If I say Ronaldo, I must add Messi. Messi must be in the conversation, whether you like it or you don't like it. And you know the worst thing, the MVP of that World Cup, most likely with the way things are going now, it will go to Messi again. So whether you like it, whether you cry, whether you argue, say they are aiding Messi, whether Messi wins that World Cup or not, I am almost certain, because I'm not God, let me not say for a fact, I am almost certain that Messi will be named the MVP. Because as it stands now, he has 8 goals and 4 assists. We don't need to count how many man of the match Messi don't win. If I begin to count, we will not live here today. Because out of the 7 games they've played, if I'm not mistaken, he has won man of the match up to 4 to 5 times. So those are the things that will count. So he might even go home with the MVP and the top goal scorer award. So if all of that happens, so he goes home with the MVP, the golden boot, and then he goes home with the most important thing, which is the World Cup trophy. Are you guys still saying the greatest of all time is Ronaldo? But I know consider this matter. Okay, all right. Let's go on a short break, and when I come back, we'll move on to other matters on the show. It's still All Access Sports on Big Heart 92.1 FM with radio anchor Julian Ajunwa.
Shakira, we are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
We are ready.
We are ready too!
Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. Please tell us where you are listening to us from and how clear our signals are. Reach us on email bigheartasaba921@gmail.com or on all socials at Facebook Big Heart Asaba, Instagram Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba, Thread Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba, X Big Heart FM Asaba, and TikTok Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. We are waiting to hear from you. Big Heart 92.1 FM. Beats for you.
The heartbeat of Niger. Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba.
Many things went through my mind, oh. And if I start to talk, they go say the boy he don't blah, oh. Farouk no dey with me, no be puff and pass. May God no let me to be specimen of bad thing. No, shut up, me better pass the daybreak. Everybody just dey wait for the payday. You get the way it who the laugh not supposed to sit down. Anywhere belle face na front. Usually they wait for my turn. Me I no get time to call the do my favor. Anybody want to just carry body. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa lele. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no baba. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa lele. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no baba. Sawasa lele. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no baba. Sawasa, Sawasa lele. I know they take it. I know they carry body up. I know they Jones. I know they pose. I know they take it. I know they carry body up. I know they Jones. So many plenty things. When I dey here, as I dey see, they no even follow. Oh yeah, come collect. Carry your matter, come collect. I say come collect. The way you need and come collect. Oh. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa, oh no nene. Sawasa lele, sawasa. Oh no nene, sawasa. Oh no baba, sawasa. Oh no nene, sawasa lele, sawasa. Oh no nene, sawasa. Oh no nene, sawasa. Oh no baba, sawasa lele, sawasa. Oh no nene, sawasa. Oh no baba, sawasa. Sawasa, sawasa lele, sawasa. I know they take it, I know they carry body up, I know they post, I know they post, I know they take it, I know they carry body up, I know they post.
I'm sure that this is the kind of song that they'll be singing in the England squad or the England camp. Put your hand for your head, make it press, say you go better. Put your hand for your head, make it press, say you go better, you go better, oh you go better, you go better, oh you go better. That's what they'll be telling themselves now. How those guys messed up. In fact, the coach is the one that should be leading this song, go. Because not because of this guy, I'm still saying it. I will say it with my full chest. Anywhere I go, it is this coach that made England not to win yesterday. It is this coach. I hope he will learn his lessons, and then he will be better for it at the end of the day. So England still has the third place match to play. It's a losers final against France on Saturday. That's why the game has been pushed to Saturday. There's a losers. That's a battle of losers. They are going to jam heads together. Losers. Bronze medal. Waiting be bronze. If it's not gold, it's not gold. It's gold now. That's what it's all about. That's what the World Cup is all about. Waiting be silver, waiting be even silver. I can even take silver. Small. But bronze. That's why you see the players, they keep removing the medals. When they want to say, no, just give me. No need to wear them from. It's a shameless medal for you to go and win bronze when your people are expecting you to bring back the gold. If you go market now, you won't sell gold, you won't sell silver, bronze. Which one they cost pass? That alone should even tell you which one is more significant. That should tell you which one is more significant. It is the goal that is more significant. That's what it's all about. Okay, let's move on to Manchester United and let you know that Yuri Tillemans says his move to Manchester United from Aston Villa is a good step in his career, explaining the reasons behind the switch. The 29-year-old midfielder completed a £36 million move from Aston Villa this week, penning a 5-year contract. Tillemans had spent 3 years at Villa, making 134 appearances for the club, scoring 10 goals and registering 25 assists. The Belgium international also scored as Villa ended a 44-year wait for European silverware in a 3-0 win against Freiburg in May's Europa League final. So let's hear from Yuri Tillemans, a very fine player. Yes, United have signed, they go markets, go buy better player. 29-year-old Yuri Tillemans.
The club is in a great place. There's a lot of ambition inside the club. There's a lot of quality, and this is a good step for me to push on and hopefully win many titles with the club. I'm very happy, very excited to start and meet the teammates and start being on the pitch together. I'm very happy, looking forward to it, and obviously him being a midfielder, he can give me a lot of tips and I can learn from him inside his structure. So I'm really looking forward to it, to learn from him and obviously to link up with my teammate. It was a great memory. Manchester United is a massive club, and to play at Old Trafford for the first time, it was big. Never seen a stadium that big in my life before, so it was amazing. But then once you're on the pitch, it's onto football and onto what you can do and what you've done your whole life. So I was very excited to play that game, and now obviously excited to be in them colours.
All right, also excited to be in them colours. So the guy is already settling in very well. The way the England players, they say them colours. He's already settling into that mode because he knows that he has joined a massive club. So he's won trophies with Leicester City. He was the one who actually scored that goal in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. Yes, that goal against Chelsea. He's played 100 so many games now for Leicester City. Let me just give you the right stat. 195 games for Leicester. He scored 28 goals. And, for Aston Villa, 134 games, he scored 10 goals. And also, his first stint at Leicester City, 13 games, 3 goals, because he came on loan first when he left Monaco, where he played 65 games and scored 6 goals. For the national team, he's been capped 90 times and he has scored 15 goals. So you can see that he's a very experienced player. Very experienced player. That FA Cup, he was the one that scored the goal against Chelsea. They beat Chelsea by 1-0. And then the FA Community Shield the same year, they beat Manchester City by 1-0. The man that scored the goal is a familiar one. Senior man Kelechi Iheanacho. He was also the man of the match in that game. He scored a penalty in the 89th minute against his former side. All right, let's hear from Yuri Tillemans once again. He's grateful for family. He says the family has stood by him, and as well as his message to the United fans. Before we hear about what he said about that, we'd also hear from him his ambition to help the young players grow and hoping to score goals for Manchester United.
Definitely, because when you grow up as a young kid, you look up to those players. You try and replicate what they do inside the changing room, inside the gym, how they prepare to be the best players they can be. So hopefully I can be that example for these young guys, and hopefully they can then go on to have a great career. Yeah, hopefully that's the aim, but any goal is good. Tapping is as good as a worldie. But I'm just looking forward to showing my game, to show what I'm about, and hopefully to have a good run with the team.
Iheanacho finds Tillemans! Oh, it's another stunning goal! He measured that!
Mainly for my family that are there always for myself to support me everywhere, so I'm grateful to have them by my side, and that's a small gesture that I can give back to them. The main thing I do is just spending time with them, trying to switch off when I'm at home and being the best that I can be, and that's it. Very keen, I'm very competitive, very ambitious, and to be in this club you want to win the biggest trophies that you can, and step by step hopefully we can get there. It's going to come naturally. I'm looking forward to meeting my new teammates and then being on the pitch with them. Yes, definitely. It's what it's all about, pre-season, to know your teammates, to play together and then be ready for that first Premier League game. I just want to say thank you for being there for me, for all the kind messages. I got them all, so just want to say thank you and looking forward to meeting you all.
Shakira, we are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
We are ready.
We are ready too.
All right, no doubt about the fact that Manchester United has signed a very fine player. He's going to offer them a whole lot. He's got the experience at the national level for Belgium. He's got that experience at club level as well. He's got that leadership quality. He's willing to bring that to the United dressing room, with the likes of Bruno Fernandes, with the likes of Kobe Maino in midfield. You talk about the new signing they've also made as well. Those guys are playing very well and having finished in third position last season. I have no doubt that if you bring in more signings, which Manchester United are willing to do, that they're going to do it. They've also signed Andre Santos from Chelsea for £50 million. That's a whole lot of money. So United mean business. They are playing in the Champions League, so they need to have a very good squad so that they can make a statement in the competition. The last time they won the Champions League was in 2008 when they won on penalties at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow in Russia, and it's taking them up to 18 years now. They haven't won the Champions League. They played in 2009, they lost to Barcelona, played in 2011, lost to Barcelona, and since then they have not been in the finals or even anywhere close to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Still talking about Belgium footballers, Sunderland have signed defender Thomas Meunier on a 2-year deal following his departure from French side Lille. The 34-year-old has made more than 550 senior club appearances and previously had spells with Club Brugge, Paris Saint-Germain, where he won 3 league titles, Borussia Dortmund and Turkish side Trabzonspor. He's also been capped 83 times for his national team and played at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Meunier is the Black Cats' first signing of the season after the departures of forwards Eliezer Mayenda and midfielder Dan Neil. He will link up with the rest of his Sunderland squad in early August. He's excited about the prospect of representing the club both in domestic competition as they also compete in Europe for the first time in 53 years. Yes, this team qualified to play in Europe, Sunderland. And remember that they just gained promotion from the Championship to the Premier League. They had not played in the Premier League for many years, Sunderland, and they suddenly gained that promotion. And many people tipped them to relegate last season. But this Sunderland team started very well, signed in Xhaka, brought in a couple of players, and at the end of the day, they finished in 7th position, which has seen them qualify for the league phase of the UEFA Europa League. So that's a huge one, for Sunderland, and that's why they want to do everything possible to keep Granit Xhaka in their team. Finally, before I leave on the show this evening, Arsenal have reached a verbal agreement with Club Brugge to sign striker Christos Tollis for £33.3 million. The Gunners are yet to table a formal offer for the Greek international, but that is viewed as a formality while personal terms will not be an issue. Once Arsenal table their bid for Tollis, the forward will have a medical before signing a long-term contract at the club. Arsenal had accelerated their interest in Tollis following the departure of Belgium international Leandro Trossard to Besiktas. Sporting director Andre Beta has worked on the deal after his assistant Mauricio Micheli watched the 24-year-old play for Greece against Sweden last month. The move for Tollis is separate to Arsenal's bid to sign at least one high-profile forward this summer. The 24-year-old scored 17 goals and added 23 assists in 36 league appearances for Club Brugge last season. So Tollis is an amazing player. 17 goals and 23 assists is a whole lot. So 40 goals involvement in 36 games shows that the guy is a quality player. So if Arsenal can bring him as a replacement for Trossard, it makes a lot of sense. But Arsenal still needs to bring in another wide forward. I think Martinelli should leave. He's not a player that will give you 15, 20 goals a season. Arsenal need to go for a marquee player in that position so that they can strengthen their hold on the Premier League title and also try to go very far again in the Champions League and see if they can also win one of the other domestic competitions. Arsenal in the right place, and with Andre Beta, the sporting director, he will do a lot to ensure that they strengthen the club this summer in readiness for the 2026-2027 season. That's the much I can take on today's edition of All Access Sports on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. I've had a swell time on the show. This is one of the best I've had so far. Thank you so much to all of you who listen to the show, and will come again tomorrow morning for Friday's edition of Morning Sport Blitz on the station that beats for you, Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. My name is Julian Ajunwa, radio anchor. Good night.
Just do it again.